Alright, the water's boiling and I'm going to put in about 14 or 15 of these large jumbo shells into the boiling water. I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt, and then I'll drop these in. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you boil these uncovered for 12 to 13 minutes after the water comes back to a boil here. I'm just stirring them to let them cooking. You put your hamburger, ground chuck, or meat. You can use ground turkey. You can use vegetarian crumbles, whichever you prefer. I'm using today the ground chuck, a lean ground chuck. After it browns, you cook it until it browns. This is starting to brown now, and it's soon going to be all lose its pink color, and it will be browned, and we will add some other ingredients into this pan. Okay, the meat has finished browning, and I'm going to tip my pan on the side like that, and you can see that there is some excess fat that is coming off of this meat. Mainly water, but I'm going to take this fat off of here and put it into a little can here. The other ingredients that you need, besides, of course, your jumbo shells that are cooking and your ground beef, you'll need a jar of Picante sauce. I used the medium. They come in different spiciness, heat. Using the medium, and you'll need an 8-ounce jar of tomato sauce, and you'll need some green chilies. If you buy them whole, then you'll have to dice them up, but these happen to be diced chilies. This is an 8-ounce. This is a 7-ounce can, and I'm only using about 3 tablespoons of these green chilies. Now, when you take them out, you want to drain them. So I have put in 3 tablespoons of the chilies in this here, and I'm draining them a little bit here. And then you'll want a can of the French fried onions. These happen to be by French's. Durkee's make some too. And you'll want a cup of Monterey Jack. You can also use any other cheese. You could use, some cheddar or many other types of cheese that you like, even mozzarella or a mixture of such. But the ones that I usually use are the Monterey Jack. And you'll need a half a cup of water. Half a cup. Okay, when your meat is finished, you'll want to mix together your jar of Picante sauce, and your tomato sauce, and your half a cup of water. So you want to mix that up well. And you want to take a half a cup of this, the half a cup, and add it into this. And you want to add your chilies, and 1/2 cup of your cheese. So of your total 1 cup of cheese, just take half of that. and add that in. This will be for the topping. And you want to add 1/2 of your can of your onions. I just kind of break them up a little bit as I put them in here. But you want to save the rest for the topping on the outs after they're baked. So you mix all this up. This dish is a little, well, it does have a little heat, and you wouldn't have to particularly use the green chilies if you're not fond of anything that is at the least bit has a little bit of heat. But if you really like the chilies, go ahead and add them, because it does make it really good. It almost tastes something like, sort of like a taco salad taste. Now you are going to have about 24 ounces of your mixture left. So you want to take half of that and put in the casserole that you're going to bake them in. Use it about a 10-inch round or a 8 by 12 pan. So I'm going to put in about 12 ounces of this, in other words, half of it, into the bottom of the casserole. Okay, my shells are all drained. I took them off of the boiling water and I rinsed them with some cold water so they're easy to put in your hand and they're not too hot to handle. So I'm taking each one of these shells now and putting in a generous portion of the mixture. And we're just going to fill these shells up and put them in here. Okay, you can see that I've got my shells filled now, and they are ready to go in the oven. And I could even have used maybe 2 more shells. They would have not been quite as full, but this is using 14 of these big shells. So you want to pour over the remaining sauce that you have. Pour that all over, and then you're going to cover it. Sauce over this, and you're going to cover it with foil and bake it in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes. And when it comes out, then you take it out of the oven, and then you open it up and you put on your remaining 1/2 cup of cheese and your remaining onions. Put it back in the oven for another 5 minutes for the cheese to melt and the onions to crisp on top, and then you serve it. When you put this back, when you put the onions and cheese on, for that last 5 minutes you bake it uncovered. But initially, for the first 30 minutes, you have it all covered. And that is a great Mexican type of casserole that has a little bit of heat to it, but you can adjust that if you like. And I hope you enjoy it. Okay, I've got my casserole out of the oven now after the remaining cheese. The onion rings. I'm going to crunch them up in my hand a little bit here. The cheese will melt and the onions will crisp.